Hey, so I apologize for the delay, but we had some technical difficulties this weekend. But here we are, and our class today is front body openers. So working the shoulders down and back, the chest open and lifted, stretching in through your hip flexors and your quads, and of course, bending backwards, right? But take your time and make adjustments, see where it goes, listen to your body, and connect to your breath, always. Namaste.
So let's come to a comfortable seat, taking your inner thigh rotation, lifting the pelvic floor, pull the lower belly in and up, engage along the sides of the body, sitting tall, relax into your hips and shoulders, and begin to observe your breath. Gradually begin to expand into the breath. And eventually make your way to your full, just beyond comfortable place. Staying connected to that breath no matter what else does or does not happen. Let's begin to add in movement here. So we'll extend the arms out to the sides. With the inhale, reach them up. And on the exhale, bring them back down again. We'll do that again. And then once more. Coming back to the top on an inhale. Exhale just the right hand back to the mat. And give yourself a little tip over to the right. Taking a nice deep breath here. And with the next inhale, bringing yourself back up to center. Taking the left hand down to the mat and tipping over to the left. Exhale. Inhaling, come back up to the center again. We'll do that once more on each side. Exhaling right. Inhaling center. And then exhaling back over to the left again. Inhale, lifting back up to the middle, and we'll exhale, releasing the arms to the sides. Bringing the left hand over to the right knee and the right hand back behind the body. Give yourself a nice easy twist over to the right, staying rooted and even on your sit bones and tall through your spine. Releasing that, we'll come back through the center and take the second side. Coming back through the middle and over to the first side again, working a little bit deeper, pressing firmly into the right hand and pulling with the left hand against the knee to rotate around a little bit deeper into your twist. Releasing back to the center, take the second side. Again, working a little deeper as you're able. Releasing back to center again. From here, we'll make our way around onto hands and knees. Placing the wrists underneath the shoulders and the knees underneath the hips. Ground the four corners of the hands well into the mat. And then begin flowing through cat-cows, inhaling the belly toward the floor. And then exhaling and rounding the spine toward the ceiling. Following your breath here, in and out. And see if you can gently work a little bit deeper into the spine as you go. Take one more flow here. And then just coming back to a neutral spine. Making sure the belly's pulled in. Bring your hands a handprint forward or your knees a knee print back and make your way into a kneeling plank. Keeping the shoulders neutral on the back, the hands even on the mat. You can always come into kneeling plank, but maybe for a little moment here, come into full plank. Pressing through the heels, making sure the belly's still pulled in, supporting the lower back. Extending out through the crown of your head. And then shifting into a down dog. And as always in this first down dog, just allow yourself to move and stretch. Letting the body wiggle and shift. Check in that the hands are still even on the mat. Sinking back into the heels, let's lift the right leg. Take it straight back, flexing out through those heels here. And then open just the hip, try not to let the shoulders dip, and bend the knee, pointing it up toward the ceiling-ish. We'll take the legs straight and square the hips, releasing the toes back to the mat. So working the same thing on the second side, lift the left leg. Again, keeping the hips square for a moment, shoulders square, and then open up just your hip. Try not to let the shoulders change, and bend the knee, pointing it up. Continue to sink into your right heel, and then release and come back down, down dog. From here, dropping down to the knees, sitting back in child's pose for just a couple breaths. And then we'll make our way back up, down dog. From here, stepping the feet forward, come to a standing fold. And just walk in place here. So bending into one knee, press through the opposite heel, switching sides like that back and forth, gently working a little deeper into your hamstrings. Coming center, bend both knees enough so that your belly touches your thighs. And then wrap your arms behind your legs, around your knees-ish,
and hang on. Keep the belly on the thighs. See if you can take your legs a little straighter. Let your head hang. So you want to feel a nice stretch up the backs of the legs, up through the spine, across the shoulders, maybe down into the neck even. Big full breaths. And then releasing that. Let's slide the hands up to the thighs, pressing away, come parallel to the floor. Belly's pulled in. You can support with the hands on the thighs as much as you need here. Let's bend into the knees, sitting back into our supported chair. Check in with your feet, nice and even on the four corners. The hands can stay supporting, maybe come center or extend. Big full breaths. And then we'll inhale, stretch up toward the ceiling. Exhale, release the arms. From here, let's take a short little step back with the left foot. So it's a narrow little straddle, maybe just wider than your shoulders. The toes point forward and the feet are even into the mat. We're going to draw the shoulder blades together on the back, interlacing the fingers. Lifting the chest, keep your hips where they are and rotate your upper body over toward the outside of your right leg. So think nose to the seam of your pants here. Try not to let the left side come forward, the left shoulder maybe a little bit, but not the hip. Big full breaths here. Inhaling, come back to center. Think about which thumb you have on top before you release your fingers. And then we'll do the second side. So interlace the fingers with the other thumb on top. Draw the shoulder blades together, lift the chest, and begin to rotate your upper body toward the outside of your left leg, keeping the right hip back, and then just tipping over the outside of your left leg. Even on the feet, long through your spine here. With the inhale, coming back up to center again, release your hands. So we're going to switch it up this time. Go ahead and turn your left toes toward the top of the mat. Feels awkward for a second. And then flip your right toes around so the feet are both pointing up toward the top of your mat here. We're going to take the right hand between the shoulder blades. You can help the elbow point as much to the ceiling as you can there with your left hand. Then take the left hand behind the lower back, reach up the spine, and see if you can find your fingers back there. Maybe yes, maybe no. Either way, we're going to hinge forward from the hip and fold over that right leg. Keeping the hips square, spine long, and staying even on the feet. With an inhale, making your way back up, releasing your hands, and coming back to that short little straddle. We'll switch sides here, turning the right toes toward the back of the mat and then flipping the left foot around. Take a wider stance if it's too wobbly, and then take the left hand between the shoulder blades, elbow pointing toward the ceiling, and the right hand sneaking up the spine, reaching for the fingers. And they may or may not be there on this side either. From there, hinging forward. Keep the hips square and the spine nice and long here. Even and steady on your feet. Nice full breaths. Inhaling as you come back up again. Release the hands back to that little straddle. And then make your way back to the top of your mat. Working into dancer here. We're going to take all the body weight over into the right foot. Bend the left knee back. And then the left hand is going to find the foot. Maybe. So if that's where the challenge is, that's where you work. Pointing the knee at the mat. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back. If you like, the right arm can reach up, but maybe the right hand can reach back and find your foot as well. We want to press the foot into the hand so the shoulders draw back even deeper, lifting the chest up toward the ceiling. Keep the tailbone tucked, keep the lower back long, and maybe add in a little hinge forward. Remember, if the chest comes forward, the leg has to lift behind to keep the stretch. Big breaths. And then gently hinge back up again. Release your left foot. And we'll switch sides. So taking all the weight to the left, go ahead and bend the right knee back when you're ready. Get stable on your left foot. Right hand finds the foot. And again, the left arm can reach up or maybe reach back. Take your time. Let the chest open and lift wherever you are. Keeping the lower back nice and long. Kicking the foot away, maybe tipping. Add what's right for you over on this side. Tipping back up again, we'll release the foot. Taking the hands to the thighs, leaning as much as you need to lean, we're going to make our way over into a half fold. So just giving the spine a chance to reset here. As you're ready, moving a little bit deeper into the fold. And then making your way back, coming into down dog. Give yourself just a little wiggle and stretch here. And in your down dog, the elbow creases face toward each other, right? So you can keep your hands where they are, but rotate the elbow creases more toward the top of the mat. So when you bend your elbows, they bend back and they drop down to the floor. So we're going to work that same idea, lifting back up. So press evenly into the hands and lift the elbows up off the mat. Back to your down dog. Let's step the right foot forward, come to a lunge. And then rolling over your back toes, drop down to the left knee there. Sink into your right heel, sink into your hips. The hands can stay on the mat if they need to, but maybe see if you can climb up on the thigh without backing your hips up. And then begin to press your chest away from the thigh, coming a bit more vertical or even maybe a little bit beyond vertical. Drawing the shoulder blades toward each other, lifting the chest, and if you'd like, lift the arms. Arms alongside the ears, so maybe they act as a little bit more body weight and pull you a little deeper into the pose. Big breath. And release it. Rolling over your back toes again and making your way back into your down dog. So then we'll switch sides, stepping the left foot forward. Rolling over your right toes to drop that knee to the floor. And then sink into your heel. Feel that extra calf stretch here. Sink into your hips. If and when you're ready, climbing up. Pressing away from the thigh to come a bit deeper. And then adding in the arms if that's you here. Make sure your breath flows smoothly. The lower back is long. Tucking the chin toward the throat just a bit to keep the back of the neck long as well. Let's release it, make your way back over into your lunge, and then step back to down dog again. shift it into a plank for a moment, making sure the hands and feet are far enough apart here, and then lift back to down dog. From that down dog, let's go ahead and step the left foot halfway to the hands, turn the toes out to the left, and roll to the outside edge of your right foot. That foot is flexed so the ankle is strong, and then the left hand either to the hip or up toward the ceiling. Stacking your shoulders, stacking your hips, taking a nice big breath here. And then releasing that, make your way back to down dog. And we'll do the exact same thing on the second side. So the right foot steps halfway up, it roughly. Let your toes turn out to the right. That foot's flat to the mat. And then we roll to the outside edge of the left foot, taking the right hand to the hip or up toward the ceiling. Hips in line with the shoulders and ankle here. Lean as much as you need to into that right leg. And release it, making your way back to your down dog again.
From there, dropping down into child's pose for a few breaths. From child's pose here, go ahead and slide forward and come down onto your belly. Take a little second here. It always feels really nice for a moment. And then we're going to prop ourselves up onto the forearms. So elbows up underneath the shoulders. Arms are out in Sphinx-ish for now. If you'd like, you can slide the right hand forward or maybe turn it in if that works better here. We're going to press into the mat. Draw the shoulder blades together on the back and extend out through the crown of the head. Tuck the tailbone if you're feeling your lower back. Bend the left knee and take that left hand and see if you can find your left foot.
Kick the foot into the hand to give yourself a little extra lift. Keeping the shoulders down and back. Tailbone tucked. You can press into the right hand and lift that elbow up off the floor, taking it deeper if that's you. Make sure you're breathing, and then come on down. Take a moment to rest. And then let's switch sides. So bring the elbows up underneath the shoulders. Forearms pressing down into the mat, drawing the shoulder blades together, tucking the tailbone. Bend your right knee, right hand finds that foot. Make sure the pelvis stays rooted. You can press the foot into the hand and maybe press into the left hand and lift that elbow. Take your time. Find the variation that's right for you here. And then release and come on back down again. Make a little pillow for your head with your hands. And turning the toes toward each other, you can rock back and forth on the hips. And just let the spine release into the floor here. Let's bring the hands next to the side ribs. Gently make your way up and back. Take one last down dog and really stretch the spine. Dropping down to the knees. Let's bring the legs around front. Make sure you have space to move back. Take the feet flat to the floor, hanging onto your hamstrings, tuck your chin and roll on down to your back. Let yourself rock and shift here, massaging the back against the mat. We'll bring the feet flat to the floor. Opening the arms out into a T position here. Let's pick the hips up. We'll move them over to the left edge of the mat and let the knees fall over to the right. Relax the legs and the shoulders. And then we'll gently make our way back up to center and switch sides, letting the hips go to the right and letting the legs fall to the left. Relax into your twist as deeply as you can here. And then bringing the legs back up to center, shift the hips back to the middle of the mat. And once again here, draw the knees in toward the chest and rock. Draw the knees in as tight to the chest as they can go, and pull your forehead toward your knees, rounding up through your spine. Releasing that, take a full body stretch, fingertips to toes. And then release that stretch, letting your arms come back down by your sides. Laying flat on the floor, maybe taking the feet flat so the knees are bent. You can have the soles of the feet together here, letting the knees fall to the sides. Or you can make your way to a seated meditation position. Find a place that you can be comfortable and allow yourself to rest here in whatever position that is for however long that you'd like. Staying connected to the breath, keeping the mind quiet, and just allow yourself to relax. Namaste.